Hey everybody, happy Friday. I hope you're all having a great day. I have an announcement to make. I'm pretty nervous about it, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of you already know what I'm about to say, and I'm sure some of you who don't have suspected something is up based off of the things that I've been posting recently. But here goes. I'm transgender. That means that I have realized that I am much more comfortable living my life as a woman than I ever was living my life as a man. I'm gonna. This is gonna be kind of a long video. There's a lot I want to talk about, but I suspect that many of you are probably curious, so I'll just go ahead and get into it. But before I do, I'm going to go ahead and change into something that I consider more comfortable. But I didn't want to start out the video looking like that because I didn't want to, cause anybody to have a heart attack or anything. So I'm going to go change real fast, and I will be right back. So here I am. I always wanted to be a redhead. And I got my makeup on, and I freaking love this top. Turns out I actually have some kind of fashion sense as a woman, which was definitely not a thing when I was a guy. You all know me, my fashion sense was pop culture reference t-shirts that's baggy and either jeans or shorts, and that was my whole fashion sense. So I'm actually having a lot of fun playing around with makeup and clothes and wigs. So yeah, I am going as a woman now. And not only that, I have straight up gone and changed my name. About a month ago, I started asking my friends to start calling me Allison. And that's my name now. I'm Allison Ballou. So yeah, here I am. So I'm going to try and answer the questions I'm sure a lot of you have. I'm sure the first one is probably when did you find out? How did you know? How long have you known? Stuff like that. So let's see. I've actually known for a rather short period of time. I've heard a lot of stories from other transgendered people talking about how they knew from a really young age that they were the wrong gender, but that was not the case for me. I didn't have any gender issues, certainly when I was a kid. I had no issue at all being a boy. I was a pretty happy kid, pretty shy, but happy. And maybe there were a few signs, like I definitely made friends with girls a lot easier than I made friends with boys, but there really wasn't anything in my childhood that made me think, maybe I'm supposed to be a girl. Everything changed when I hit adolescence, and being a teenager is rough for everybody, to be sure. But I feel like it was particularly rough for me. Didn't have a lot of friends. Very, very shy, very insecure about a lot of things. But I mean, that's not that unusual. And when I started doing theater, some of that started to clear up. But the truth is, I never really developed past that. I feel like I was sort of stuck in that awkward, don't look at me, I don't want to interact with anybody, I definitely don't want to reach out to anybody kind of phase from high school through very recently. And instead of, maturing into a fully formed person, I just became more and more withdrawn the older I got. And I remember telling people, romantic partners and things, that I didn't think that I had a personality, which is kind of a weird thing to say when you think about it. But that's how I felt. I felt like I had no sort of defining characteristics. I felt like I was this lump of flesh just kind of meandering through life, with occasional happy moments, but mostly pretty depressed. And that just got worse and worse and worse, and I started having suicidal thoughts. And, I just felt like I couldn't ever be myself with anybody. I used to have these fantasies about getting to know someone really well and allowing myself to come out to them, even though, I mean, it's maybe I wouldn't have phrased it like that because I didn't feel like I was in a closet, or at least I wasn't aware that I was. But I kept wishing that I could express myself better, and it never occurred to me that it was the need to be perceived as male or masculine that was what was holding me back. It makes a lot of sense in retrospect, because I was a very emotional person, and you can certainly be an emotional person and be a man, but I gravitated towards a lot of I guess stereotypically feminine forms of entertainment and music and musicals and movies, and I felt like I cried a lot more than any respectable man should, and all of these are kind of gender stereotypes, and I don't want to get too much into that. I'm just saying that it helps inform who I am now. So anyway, so yeah, like I said, it was getting worse and worse. I was getting more and more depressed all the time, and about 4 months ago, I came across this term that I had never heard before, non-binary. The singer Sam Smith, who I really like, came out as non-binary, and I had never come across the term before. And for some reason, I was attracted to this term. I didn't even really know what it meant, but I knew that it meant that you didn't have to be strictly male or female. And something about that was attractive to me. I couldn't have told you what. It just attracted itself to me. And at the exact same time, I was trying to explore my sexuality more. I've always been primarily into women, and that remains true, actually. But I'm not unattracted to men. I would classify myself as a pansexual. I tend to be attracted more to the person than to their gender specifically. Although if I am attracted to a gender, it's probably female. Anyway, long story short, I came out as bisexual and non-binary. And at first I was just really exploring my sexuality, and I didn't even really think about this new gender term that I was using for myself. But after I had a little bit of time to explore the sexuality, I decided, I want to start exploring my gender a little bit more. And a little coincidentally, maybe a little intentionally, I auditioned for this show, which I'll talk about a little bit more later, called The Legend of Georgia McBride. And I got cast as a drag queen. And that allowed me to really start exploring my gender while we were rehearsing. I got to dress in girly clothes and, behave in more feminine ways. And it very, very quickly started to become abundantly apparent to me that this was, I just felt right, for lack of a better term. Like night and day. I was so much more comfortable with myself, so much more confident. just playing this character, and it very quickly started to dawn on me that that was not a mistake, that was not a coincidence, that I was discovering for the first time who I truly am. And so I came shooting out of that closet, came out very fast. I'm kind of amazed at how fast this has all happened. I mean, really, it's actually been less than a month since I, came out and said, I'm Allison now. But it feels so good. It's like I've been wearing this weight on me my whole life, and I didn't even know it was there, and I finally cut it off, and now I feel uplifted, and I feel like myself for the first time. I feel like I do have a personality, actually, as it turns out. I know a lot of you would have said that I did, but I didn't feel like I did. And so many people, the people who know have commented on it. They say you just seem so much lighter and happier, and that's how I feel. So yeah, what else do I want to talk about? It hasn't been all sunshine and roses. I think the biggest thing is that I'm really hyper obsessed with my appearance now, which was not really an issue before. I didn't like my appearance before, but I didn't really I probably looked in the mirror once a month, once upon a time. I just didn't like looking at myself. And now I'm looking in the mirror all the time because it's kind of hard to do your makeup if you don't look in the mirror. And I do. I like the way I look, honestly, but there are good days and there are bad days. And, people, when you're in a play, people can't help but comment on the way you look, and sometimes even the way you behave, and that's been very rough for me. But I'm getting through it, and I'm getting better at doing my makeup, and like I said, I have a fashion sense now, so that's nice. The other big issue for me has been I was so defensive for so long. I wouldn't let anybody into my life, anybody. And I just pretended to be fine, and I was just skating by. And now I'm really trying hard to reach out, and it's really difficult when you have built all these walls around yourself to break free of that. And it's going to be a long process. I have no illusions about that. But I hope, in time, I will learn to be a more open, loving, caring person. I think the biggest thing for me is there are so many people in my life that have meant so much to me, and I never even hinted at them that I even cared, much less, loved them. And I want to start doing that more. But it's a process. Yeah, and I'm still very early in this process. Like I said, I'm happy with myself for the first time. I feel fulfilled. I like myself. So, yeah, I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world, you guys. I am so just relieved to to be Allison, to be myself. I can't even explain, because it's hard to explain how it feels to go through your life for 33 years not knowing who you are, and then suddenly one day you do. And it's a little scary, but it's so exciting and so fulfilling, and I'm so happy with myself. I'm so proud of myself. I'm proud of myself, you guys. I was never proud of myself for anything. I could have climbed Mount Everest before and been whatever. And now I'm yeah, I'm doing it. I'm getting it. Get it, girl. So yeah, I'm happy. What else? What else? Like I said, I'm in a play, The Legend of Georgia McBride. That's actually one of the reasons I'm making this video today. is tonight is our opening night. If you are here in Flagstaff or close to Flagstaff, you should definitely come out and see it. It is an hysterical show, and I'm having so much fun working on it. The cast and crew have been so great. They've allowed me to be myself, especially during some of my early awkward days where I was like wearing a dress but no makeup or hair and probably looked like the hottest mess that there ever was. And they never treated me weird or, it was always, hey Allison, how you doing? Oh, I'm happy to see you. So they're a great group of people and I'm having so much fun working with them. Come see the show if you can. What else? Yeah, I hope to see you all in the near future. If you do run into me out and about, I usually look like this these days, which is pretty cool. Feel free. Don't feel like you have to be awkward or anything. It's a transition. It's definitely not something that happens overnight. I'm still getting used to it, to be sure. Feel free to, if you accidentally call me Scotty or whatever, don't put your foot in your mouth. You're doing fine. And if you ever have any questions, I'm very open about it. Human behavior has always been an interest of mine, and this is easily the most interesting thing that's ever happened to me. So I'm always happy to talk about it. I guess that's about it. I feel really good. I feel like even between the intro to this video and me putting on my face and my hair, I just feel liberated. Like, I'm sure you can tell. So yeah, this is an exciting new chapter in my life. I'm very, very happy for the first time ever. So yeah, I look forward to seeing you all around, and I'll catch you next time.